Hi everyone, it's Tracey here from Art Fibre Stitch. We've been telling a story in fabric. We started with a nice dark background. We added in some bits and pieces. We added in a bit of stitching. And we created this nighttime kind of scene. And we started adding some trees. And then I decided what I wanted to add some dark on one side of the tree and some light on the other side, just to reflect that moonlight. Now I like playing with different yarns. This is like a ribbon, and when I tease it out, it gives me this really interesting texture. And I think that's just the thing. So I'm using some of that. Let's have a closer look at these two threads. I found them both very interesting. That's the one there that's like a ribbon, and I pull it from the side, and it has this wonderful, wonderful shape. And this one, when I pull it at the end here, it fizzes up. It sort of looks almost like a chain stitch in crochet. See? Amazing. So in the last episode, we did some of the dark lines in the bark of our trees here. And I decided I would do it on the side that is facing away from the sun. And the side that is, sorry, not the sun, the moon. And the side that is closest to the moon, I'm going to highlight. I'm just trying it as a picture. Do I think it's like that? I figure out which parts of it I want to show or accentuate. I think I'm ready. So I grab some of this thread that I've pulled, and it's made this lovely fuzzy kind of line. I think that would work perfectly as a silvery line on the edge of our trees, reflecting that moonlight. Now I'll want to couch it down with a light coloured thread. Well, I did have this metallic thread that I could use. It's quite old though. I don't know that it's going to be very successful. So I start. May as well try it. But I find that, see, by the time I pulled it through, it has frayed. And all of the metallic bits have ended up in a knot. So, not successful. So I end up using a different thread, just some stranded cotton. 1 or 2 strands will do me. And I run it up the edge of this tree. And as I'm going, I'm making sure that I'm attaching that edge, that yarn. So I'll go all the way up, and then with what's left of my thread, I'll turn round and I'll come back again. And in that way, I'll continue until I've used all that thread. And then I'll move on to another tree and do the same process. What we're doing is adding a highlight. So in this way, adding a highlight one side and low lights or shading the other side, we're making it more into the realm of a picture, of something slightly more realistic. I'm not even pretending this is a real photograph, but it's just giving it that little nudge towards reality, tricking our eyes a little bit so that we will start to imagine better. I may then decide to go in the middle with a you know, a mid-tone of thread. Don't know. But can you see how those little simple stitches, just that running stitch or a single stitch here and there, just helps roughen up the bark a bit, look more natural. I have some light blue thread here. I'm going to use that, and maybe this silvery blue that I have, and I'm just going to do a few lines in the sky. Make sure that that is held down, those background trees that we created with that net, and go around this moon a little bit, you know, hold it down, create a bit of a corona around it, and maybe a few more clouds. It doesn't matter what you do, it's all about using your imagination and getting some stitches down on your fabric to suggest something, whatever you think it suggests. So as I finish here, and I think, you know, another thing I'd like to put in is a few silvery grasses. I think that the moon is just picking up the feathery tops of. And that will be the end of this picture. I hope you've enjoyed following along. You could use these same techniques on any subject matter. The main thing is to experiment and enjoy yourself along the way. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. We'll take you out now with a few photos, a few close-ups, give you some ideas. And we'll look too at some of the last things that I did add. There are those grasses and some of these lines in the sky. The corona around the moon with these silvery grasses. I liked that. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like if you do like, and you can even leave a donation should you be so inclined. Thank you very much.